So I'm going to show you how to use Copilot for Microsoft 365 within Microsoft Teams. So you can see that I've got within the chat icon, I've got Copilot running here. But what you can also do is you can head over to apps here and you can install the Copilot app and actually pin it to the left-hand side. So you can see you've got Copilot for Sales. You can see that I've already got the app here. And what I can do is I can pin it so it does appear within my apps. Now, once you've got this installed and pinned, what you then can do is you've got the opportunity to ask Teams to find information out across your Microsoft estate. And just remember that obviously it's only the information that you have access to. So if you've got access to SharePoint's site, then obviously it's going to pull that information through. So you can see I can have a look at my calendar information. When's my next meeting with Michael Berry? I can start a conversation. I can catch up with my inbox. And you can see I've got more prompts here as well. So, and you can do saved prompts as well, see all prompts, and open up a new tab for you. So you can go from, things like catch up, learn, create, or ask. And you can go and have a look at what's in my inbox, understand quickly how to brainstorm, how to request a proposal, and so on, ideas, etc. So if I just close off that on it, I can simply just ask Copilot if I wanted to write me a LinkedIn post for announcing a new video on Copilot 365, and it'll go away and it will create that from the information that it found on the internet. I haven't actually asked it to do anything outside or inside of my tenancy. Okay, so you can see I've got all this information here. Now, what it has found, as an example, it has found a note here that has got an email from me about some new content that we've launched within our learning platform. So again, it is obviously looking at the information that is available that I've got here. Now, what I can also do is I can go to my prompts and I can say, catch up on today. So I could say, what have I missed in emails today? And it's going to scour my email inbox and it's going to have a look at my unread emails from today, and any correspondence that I've had within here. So you can see that I've got 10 emails that have come through here. Some of all I've had to hide a little bit from, but you can see that I've had an email from CyberSmart regarding a report. You can see that I've had a message from Apollo and an email from a client as well. So you can see, obviously, I've got all the information. And again, I can click on the little icons here. So as an example, CyberSmart, I can click on that little icon and it will bring up the information that of the email that is obviously corresponding to. So you can see by loading up that footnote, it's opened up the email and you can see that I've got that information as well. So really, really helpful to see that information. Within Copilot as well, I can go to one of my recent chats. So I'm going to go to my colleague Daniel, and you can see I'm often introducing, obviously, talking about marketing. So I can click on the icon here, which is open Copilot, and you can see down here, I can ask it to show me highlights from the last 7 days. So I'm going to just say, show me highlights from the past 7 days. And what Copilot's going to go and do now is going to go and show me all the information across the last 7 days that I have missed. And you can see Jay and Daniel have discussed creating a new logo. Jay shared a draft of the callback logo, which Jay has approved, and it's gone through and it's added things on for me. Now I could say, I can ask a question and say, show me any actions I need to do from our conversation. So again, it's looking at that conversation that we've had, and it's going to give me actions over the last 7 days. And you can see, look, it's updating the Flow 1 proposal with the great pricing as shown in the proposal, review the newsletter, and ensure the deck is updated. So again, it's giving me actions. Now, it could be that I sort of know that Dan wants to send out a newsletter, but I can't remember when he said he was going to do it. So when did Dan say he would send the newsletter? And again, I can send that across, and it's going to now ask me or provide me the information and say, Dan mentioned sorting out the newsletter for immediate dispatch on August the 22nd. And again, I can see there's a footnote here And by clicking on it, you can see it shows me the message that Dan was relating back to. So that gives you an idea of the chat. I'm now going to show you a live video. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is a meeting that is currently live that I've missed the first 15 minutes of. So you can see that I've got a meeting here in my diary within Teams in the calendar. You can see titled Project Office, and it's handled by Dave Milton. So I've missed this meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the meeting, and I can see that Copilot has been running in the background during this meeting. Okay, so I'm not going to have my camera on because I'm using the camera down the bottom left. But what you will see is when I join this meeting now, what you can see is that I've got the agenda showing up on the screen at the moment, and you can see, so if I just maximize the video, you can see the agenda that they've been talking about, which has been running on the notes here. But because I've missed the meeting and they don't realize what I'm talking about and what I'm saying, I'm going to hit on the Copilot icon, and what we can see is I'm just gonna mute Philip a second. So what you can see is by hitting on the Copilot, I can now ask Copilot a few different things on it. So I've got my more prompts down here, so I can recap the meeting. So I'll do that first. So I'm just going to recap what I've missed in the last 10, 15 minutes. Now Copilot has gone away and it's given me all the key topics that they've discussed. So although I've got the notes in here and I can see the notes that they've made, what Copilot has done is listen to the transcription, listen to the call, and you can see now all the key topics. So we can see the parking spaces, Philip and Dave have been discussing, access control, the office layout, the Teams room setup, decorating and infrastructure. So they've obviously had a very busy conversation here. Once that is finished, what I can now do is I can sort of say, let's look at the action items that we've taken from the meeting so far. So again, if Philip turns around and says, "Look, Jay, you've missed the meeting," I can say, "Well, I do understand, Philip. You mentioned the contracts for the painting, decorating, and the floor work as well." So we can see that information. So you can see the action items here. We can see the action items are parking spaces that we need to. Dave is going to confirm the number of allocated parking spaces available. And Philip is going to finalize the vendors for access control and CCTV, ensure integration with Teams. And we can see, obviously, all the other actions that are coming along here as well. Now, one thing I do really like is if we look at list different perspectives by topic, what we can actually see is some topics that maybe Dave and Philip have maybe disagreed on during this meeting. So again, Teams will go along and it will look at the parking spaces. So Philip has suggested allocating parking spaces. There's no concerns about that. You can see that CCTV and access control. There's no concerns about that. So it looks like Philip and Dave have got on during this meeting and we have no concerns. But if there was a little bit of a dispute, we can see what the concerns would be within the parking. And again, there's lots of different things we can do here. We can look at what questions are unresolved. We can suggest some follow-up questions. If I click on that, it's going to basically allow me to join that meeting. And although I've got the information, I can now follow up those questions and say, right, Philip, I know I've missed it, but in regards to the access control, what specific features are we looking for in access control to ensure it integrates with Teams? How will the CCTV coverage be prioritized to ensure high value items are monitored effectively? So again, I've got a lot of catch up here as well. So that gives me lots of ways to integrate and to interrogate during the meeting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a recap once this meeting is finished. So I'm just going to give everybody a wave now to say goodbye. And what we're going to do is Dave's going to end the meeting and I'm going to go in and have a look at the recap in a short while. So what I'm going to now show you is a Teams meeting that I attended on the 19th of August. So I'm going to just click on the daily IT training here and I'm just going to open this up wider so we can have a little look. And what you can see is there's a long list of attendees and we can see who's attended, who didn't, and whatnot. But what we can do is we can come over to the recap and we're just going to have a look at part 3 because there was a few different meetings. And what you can see here is you've got the recording of the video and I can see from the speakers here, you can actually show all the speakers within the in recording. And what this will do is it will just gonna turn off the sound here. But what we can see is we can jump between the different options here that we can see across the meeting. So we can see the meeting live here. What we can also see as well is we can see all the AI notes. So we can see, for example, they were talking about CyberGuard introduction. We can see, we can open this up and we can have a look into that information, and we can actually jump to that part of that video if we wanted to as well. We can look at mentions. So we can see that obviously I was mentioned. Salim has said, Jay, a quick question for you. And you can see obviously Stuart has asked some questions. We can also go into topics here and we can have a look at different things. So as an example, understanding cybersecurity, antivirus. If we hop to this area, we can actually watch back that recording. And again, all these topics are being generated from the discussion that was across that meeting. We can also go into chapters, and we can jump along in the different parts of the video, and we can go and have a look to see, what was discussed at understanding cybersecurity. And again, we can see that recording and we can see the live video. So it allows us to do a bit of a recap rather than watching the whole meeting. Now, if we had notes embedded, we can also add some notes in here as well with an agenda and items in it as well. But what we have got now is the AI notes. And again, like I say, we can go through it. We can have a look at the speakers. We can see who has been speaking. And again, we can say, was that useful? And feedback to Microsoft as well. So some really, really good information that we can do here within a recap of that meeting as well. So hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching.